Hello everyone. As it turns out, the last video I posted was not to be the last video of the year because Universal Pictures has released the trailer for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And that means it's time for the cat to finally come out of the bag. In the summer of this year, I began working on the script for a video I was going to do on the story, The Odyssey, by Homer. I had this nice copy. I bought it from a friend along with a bunch of other really nice copies of classic books. And I wanted to give it a read for myself before the movie came out because I heard Nolan was doing an adaptation of The Odyssey. And obviously, being as big of an Oppenheimer fan as I was very excited for this movie. And so I challenged myself. At that point in my life, I had not been reading with much regularity, but nevertheless, I challenged myself to read the entirety of The Odyssey before the movie came out. And I did, and I loved it so much that I wanted to do a video on it. And from the way things are looking, this will be my biggest video to date. The document that contains the script is currently sitting at 90 pages. For reference, my Mandela catalog video, which was about this long. The script for that video sat at around 60 pages. And I'm not even done, to be clear. I'm going to be doing some more work on the video today. And so that's the big video project that I have been teasing for a couple of videos now. I am working on a huge video that will be my coverage of the story of the Odyssey. And that is hopefully going to be coming at you in January, if not February. This is truly a behemoth of a video. The writing of this video has been its own odyssey. But having read the story for myself, technically having read it twice if you count writing the script for the video, I wanted to do not a reaction because I have watched the trailer, but I wanted to do a breakdown of what we see in the trailer, moments in the trailer that I think reference events in the story, theories, predictions as to who's who, where's where. And so that's what this video is, and this is going to be the video that closes out 2025. And so Merry Christmas to you all, and if you don't celebrate, Happy Holidays and Happy New Year, because I won't see you until next year. And let's get into this trailer, shall we? Okay, first of all, it's been approved for appropriate audiences. Based on certain events in the book, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for like a light R rating, but PG-13 might be possible as well. All right, let's take a look here. I really can't wait for this movie to come out. I'm so excited. Okay, so immediately we're getting this just insane image of a bunch of burial piles of Greek soldiers. If I had to guess, this is probably the aftermath of the Trojan War, because the Greeks did sustain heavy losses in the Trojan War, at least in the story. Obviously, I'm talking about all of this like it actually happened. This is a work of mythology. So if I talk about events as though they actually happened, just know I know that this is a work of literature. But the Greeks sustained heavy losses at Troy, and so this is probably them on the sandy beaches, burying their men. Although it could also be Odysseus's crew, the ones who ate the cattle of Helios. Probably not, just because there are so many in the background, and also I don't think he would have had the opportunity to retrieve those men's gear to give them a proper burial. So I'm thinking this is Troy. And also, of course, the big thing that the historians have been coming for, at least in some small part on the internet. I don't know how big the actual scope of this discussion is. Obviously, the armor is very Roman-inspired, not Bronze Age Greece. And personally, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I don't really care that it's not period accurate armor, because especially, like, have you seen the armor? Like, I'm sorry Christopher Nolan chose Roman looking armor over the ugliest thing you've ever seen. Like, I'm sorry Matt Damon isn't gonna be running around on screen looking like an acorn. Like, there's a reason that the iconography of the Roman helmet, the horse plume helmet, has been so popular for so long. So I'm not mad. I think this was the right decision. All right, let's keep going. So in this frame, we see Odysseus, obviously played by Matt Damon. Here, this is a man who stands taller than him and is in very just insanely cool looking armor. with the gold insignias, gold lions on the capes. If I had to guess, I would say this is Achilles, one of the heroes who fought at Troy, and obviously a very famous mythological character for his... I mean, he's largely known for his one weakness being the spot on his heel, but he was more known at the time in the myth for being invulnerable and immensely strong, except for that one point on his heel. I don't think this is any of the gods, because the main god that you see in the Odyssey who, like, is with Odysseus at his side is Athena, and never in the story, at least to my vague recollection, does she take the form of a heroic, manly character. She does take the form of men a couple times, but never a warrior type person. So I'm thinking this is Achilles. Although if that is John Bernthal in there, then that is King Menelaus of Sparta. I can't tell if that's Bernthal or not underneath the armor, but if I had to guess, I'd say no. I'm just going to rewind to this point because I wasn't sure how much of that was intelligible. All right, so Odysseus and his men.
Between my men.
And home. This is the kingdom of Ithaca. He's going to have a line here saying that this is home. This is the kingdom of Ithaca where Odysseus is king, I'm assuming. Unless they could just be doing a bait and switch where, like, they're showing a location, but this isn't actually Ithaca. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say this is Ithaca.
And home.
This is Telemachus, Odysseus' son, and his wife Penelope. There's a lot of conflict in the story centered around their trials back at home, not just Odysseus' trials at sea, because their kingdom is being, at this point, plundered by suitors who are trying to court Queen Penelope, because Odysseus has been gone at this point for 20 years and is presumed dead by most of Greece. And so hundreds of suitors come to Ithaca, come to the palace to try and court Penelope, even though she doesn't want to remarry. And that's one of the main conflicts in the story. So I won't say much more about it here, but this video is just going to be one big ad for my Odyssey video coming in the new year. But yeah, I'm not going to talk much more about that conflict until that video comes out. All right, we got Odysseus and his men sailing. They're going to be doing a lot of that in the movie, just so you know. I love the ships, and the soundtrack is insane. Okay, this seems to be them raising up the Trojan horse. They probably constructed it in the water so that it would be out of sight, out of mind, or maybe it's just easier in the water. And now they're raising up the Trojan horse to use at the siege of Troy. At least that's what this looks like. And this seems to be Odysseus and a cohort of men inside the horse. These are, okay, this is either Odysseus and a host of people inside the Trojan horse ready to lay siege to Troy, because the Trojan horse was the final blow against Troy. They were able to lay siege to the city that way by surprise, and that's how they took the city. This is either that, or this is him just on a ship as a passenger trying to get somewhere, because he does a lot of that as well. Oh, now what is that? So it looks like a sword comes into the chamber, and because it's sealed from the top, I'm going to say that this is the Trojan horse. Oh yeah, they're trying to silence him so that they won't give away their position. And that right there, the guy with the beard, that is King Menelaus of Sparta. He is the husband to Helen, famously Helen of Troy. Her abduction or fleeing off with Paris of Troy is what kickstarts the Trojan War, because that's his wife, and obviously he wants her back. I mentioned this in the Odyssey video, but there are conflicting reports in the greater mythology of the Trojan War whether Helen of Troy was abducted by Paris as a prize, or whether she went along with him willingly. In the translation of the Odyssey that I read, I don't know if it's different in other versions, but in this version, it seems to imply that she went with him willingly, but nevertheless, that's what started the Trojan War. Let's keep going. This is the Cyclops cave. I'm looking forward to this scene in the movie. All we get is this shot. That's all we get of the Cyclops at this moment is this shot. And from what I understand, this was largely done with practical effects. Like, they have a large Cyclops model that they are using in the film. Some sequences will probably be CGI, and they may also enhance the model with CGI. But this looks good. I'm super happy about this. This looks exactly how I always imagined it would. Because I read certain aspects of the Tale of Odysseus, not reading the actual work, of course, but I knew certain aspects of the myth of Odysseus since I was a child, especially the tale of his men and the Cyclops Polyphemus. So I am very excited to see this in live action, and it looks exactly how I imagined. And this is them fleeing. Now this sequence is interesting. This is Odysseus and his men traveling to a place in the underworld, because they actually do that in the story. They visit a place in the underworld to commune with certain spirits that Odysseus was instructed to meet with. And so they actually land on the shores of the underworld. They lay offerings down, and the spirits all come forward. There are a number of spirits that come forward. I'll elaborate more on that in the Odyssey video. But this portrayal is insanely cool. I assume they shot this in Iceland. It looks like Iceland, but these soldiers look insane. This way of depicting the underworld and them just rising up out of the black sands is so cool. It's not how I envisioned it in my mind, but I love this interpretation. Coming this summer. All right. Yep. Storms, sailing. Lots of that. Sorry, the movie's very loud in my ear, so I feel like I'm shouting.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Okay, so that's him before he left for Troy. I assume we're gonna see some like intimate, emotional moment between the two of them as they say goodbye, because they don't know whether he's coming home. And he does not come home for 20 years, so it was well-founded. The Odyssey. I love whatever synth or sample they used to make that ending effect. And that is the first teaser trailer for the Odyssey. I will be watching any new release or media pertaining to this movie with great interest. I may not make videos on them, but I wanted to at least make a video going over moments that we see in this teaser trailer. And it means I have until summer to get this video up, but don't worry, it will not be that long. The Odyssey is an epic poem divided into 24 books. I am currently on book, I think, 22, so I am nearly done. And so likely one of the first videos coming into the new year on this channel will be my huge video coverage of the Odyssey. And so I hope that you stick around for that. I hope you're as excited for this movie as I am. I love Christopher Nolan. I love his movies. And the fact that he's making an adaptation of the Odyssey is just incredible. I'm going to get this edited as fast as possible. It'll probably be up for you all Christmas Eve, unless you're a patron of this channel, in which case you may have seen it a day early. In which case, this is my Christmas gift to you, is a breakdown of the trailer for Nolan's Odyssey. I'm so excited. I want to be invited to the premiere so bad, but I'm not that big of an influencer. But if anyone watches this video who happens to be in charge of planning red carpet ceremonies or affairs, I will shill so hard for this movie. I love the Odyssey. I love talking about it. I'm going to be talking about it at length on this channel in a huge video, and I hope you're excited for that, and I hope you're excited for the movie, because I am for both. I look forward to recording this video. And of course, a huge thank you goes out to my patrons, Sean, Happy the Knife, and the top tier patrons, RD, Snowy, and Bottomless Potamus. Thank you for supporting me throughout the year, and I hope that you continue to support me and continue to enjoy the content coming in the new year, because you can expect much more from me than just an insanely long video deep dive into the Odyssey, one of the oldest stories we have record of. I know there are much older stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh, but the Odyssey is certainly one of the oldest works of prose and fiction that we have access to. And so I hope you all have a happy holidays, and I hope you have an amazing new year, and I will see you in that new year for some more exciting videos. I hope that you're excited for that because I know that I am. And cut.